All right, Coach. I mean, you've heard all this before, so this is not like it's new information, but year 28 at MSU. When I say 28 years in East Lansing, what comes to mind?
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And the scary part is it's 28 years as the head coach. But I spent 12 years with Judd, which is like another 28 years. So I've almost been there 56 years, you know. But privilege comes to mind, honor. You know, it tells you got a lot of good players that help you keep your job. That's what it tells you.
No doubt. And look, anybody who's played for you, they know how much you care for them. And I think that's what's really shown through over the years as you kind of reflect. And I don't even know if you even give yourself the chance to reflect at this point, but as you reflect of all the great things that you've done there, are there moments that pop up? Are there things that happen before a game where you're like, oh man, this reminds me of that one time where this happened or that happened?
Yeah, it does a lot. In fact, 3 weeks ago, we had what we call our grind week. We bring back our pros, and we have a workout, and we brought back a lot of alums. I think we had 68 players back, and they just start talking about all the things that we went through. And I realized, man, I was an idiot when I was younger. And then I remind them they were idiots too. So we were all, but I do, you know, you get to certain games in certain arenas and you think, you know, I go to Purdue and I think, God, we won a game there when Cleves was a sophomore that probably propelled us to a league champion that year. And you lost a game somewhere that cost you. Yeah, you think about that all the time. That's the advantage of experience and highs and lows. And I honestly think it's one thing our kids don't get to do now. We got to fail. And failing was good. Now you fail, you leave. So yeah. I think it's something that I cherish, that I was able to fail and rebuild.
So along those lines, how have you seen the kids evolve over the years and just the type of kids and the type of recruits and things like that? Obviously technology, social media, so many factors involved.
Yeah, I think 2010, 11, you know, when Twitter and that thing really started, it really changed our jobs and it changed those kids. I mean, you think about working on something, you know, I saw Bardo here when I walked in and, you know, when he was going to Illinois, that's all they did was practice basketball, you know. Now those kids spend 8 hours a day on their phones, you know. And really, I think it's kind of sad. And then I think kids are more entitled now. But the difference with me than other people, I blame us. I don't blame the kid. Everybody says the kids have changed. No, we've changed to allow the kids. Kids will do whatever you demand them to do as long as they know how much you care and that you're doing it for them. And so I blame the adults more than the kids.
Yeah, that's a very mature mentality to have. As a kid, I blame the kids. So. you said
when
about
we lose a game, I probably will.
Yeah, feel free to blame me. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know you said that this year's team is not going to sneak up on anybody anymore, which is the right mentality to have, especially with the talent that you guys are bringing back and adding to the fold. How do you feel like pressure has become a privilege and really how kids can handle that, and that's good for you guys?
Well, the great thing last week, you know, I mean, Magic was in town, but Draymond, or 3 weeks ago, and Steve Smith and Mateen Cleaves, and those are the guys that kind of built the different eras. And when somebody asked the question about is there a little more pressure on this team because it's picked higher, you know, they all answered right away, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's what you built. You shouldn't run from that. You should embrace it. Now, is there more pressure? The pressure is if you don't handle it right. Because this league this year, I think, is going to be even better than other leagues, other years. And the reason I say that is, you know, us and Purdue have been picked by most to be in the top 5 or 6, and I think we're both pretty good, but I think there's teams out there in our league with more talent. I mean, real talent. We just have experience and talent. And I don't think they've gotten enough credit. I mean, you look at Wisconsin and Illinois and Ohio State and, you know, Indiana's got a lot of that. There's just Team Maryland. There's teams out there that have a lot of talent. I think the question marks as I walk through the hallways here, you don't recognize guys because we've transferred a lot. And that's going to help some teams. I think it's going to hurt other teams.
So you hit on it, but you have a unique blend of experience and youth at the same time. It's that experience plus the new talent. Outstanding recruiting class again for you guys. You were an outstanding three-point shooting team a year ago. There's a lot of factors that go into this year's team, but when you talk about blending that youth and experience, it feels like that's been a secret sauce formula for a lot of successful teams at this level. How do you go about that? How do you go about really integrating that youth with guys who have already done it?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is make sure that those juniors and seniors, and that's why I said I have a lot of great players that have come back, and tell them their job. A player-coach team is better than a coach-coach team. And when I don't have to do much coaching, we're a better team. And I think the AJs and Malik's and Jaden Akins and Tyson Walkers, they realize that part of their job is to make these young guys better. And yet they don't fear for their jobs. And I think that's great. And our young guys have come in. Jeremy Fears has been unbelievable. We got a guy in Cohen Carr who jumps like the flying high Illini back in the day. So we got good athletes. We got Booker, who's got great length and size. But I think the key to our team is our veterans have gotten better. And I think maybe because they're getting pushed, and maybe because they're maturing and realizing this could be the last hurrah for them.
Look, we know it's January, February, Izzo in East Lansing. We know that 25 straight NCAA tournament appearances is unmatched, all that stuff. I'm sure you get this question all the time, but getting a team prepared in March, it seems like it's something that you've just thrived throughout your whole career. What's that almost secret formula in your mind, or what's the key for getting a team galvanized for a run?
Well, first of all, in November, December, January, and February, I do work. I gotta make sure I tell my alums I do work. They think I don't work in those months. But I think the secret is, we've talked about it with some other people in TV and some of our own players, that the schedule early, now a lot of people are playing tough schedules. We've always done it. And we took our lumps. I think most of the Final Fours, we had the most losses. And that's why I'm still big on, you can learn more from a loss than a win, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to struggle as long as you keep working. And I always felt like by Christmas we knew our warts. A lot of people didn't know their warts. They played a bunch of cupcakes and they didn't know their warts. We knew what we were good at, and we knew what our Achilles heel is. And then you kind of work on that during the holiday, and then, the Big Ten, you get more ready for it. And I think that's helped us in March. I really do. And the league helps prepare you in March. The Big Ten tournament now, which I'm not sure I was a fan of early on, but it really does help you, because kids got to understand my bad means go home when you're in tournament play. In conference play, it's not that way. You get another chance. But you get the Big Ten tournament, and one bad night, you're out. You get the NCAA tournament, one bad night, you're out. So the my bads don't work so good then.
You mentioned just how good this league is and how much they return, including the Player of the Year, Zach Edey, who has been monstrous in the Big Ten for now, 8 years it feels like at this point?
I can't believe they haven't illegalized him.
It's going to come. Eventually there will be a day where you don't have to deal with him. But when you have to game plan for a guy like that big, the gravitational pull, where he can set up his teammates and everything else that he does, what goes into making sure you're prepared for a guy like that?
This year we have 3 bigs. I'm throwing them all at him.
There you go.
But, and the other part about that is Matt does such a good job with his team, but he does a good job playing through Edey, and they've developed him into being a good passer. He's a good free throw shooter. That's a problem because you can't hack-a-shack him. And he's a better athlete. Have you ever watched a film of him playing baseball and that? I mean, this kid can do more things than just play basketball. So you got to throw a lot at him. What we've done it different ways. We've tried doubling and tripling him, and then they beat us with three-point shooting. We've tried, staying on the three-point shooters, and then he beats us himself. So you're right. I'm waiting for retirement for him. But they got a good team. He's a good player and a good guy.
So I'm sure you're going to get these questions a lot. If it were up to me, I'm watching college basketball. I don't want to say historian, but I'm someone who likes the past. I like all of the traditions. I like the names and people that we get to know. You, of course, being one of the biggest ones. But you've seen a lot of your contemporaries now starting to hang them up, say, hey, Jim Boeheim, done. Coach K, done. Roy Williams, done. Jay Wright, done. So you go down the list. I watch you. You look like you're still having a lot of fun on the sideline. So when will you know it's time to say, all right, this is done for me as well?
So, your dad wouldn't ask a question so tough as
Correct.
that one.
But that's why I'm the next generation.
I like him better right now, but I'm going to gain to like you. But now, the truth of it is, the day that I am not having fun, listen, the job's a struggle. I do not appreciate the new rules at all. I've
Sure.
been very vocal about it. I've got very good reasons about it and why. It makes it a lot more difficult. But I still love my job. My job is to get with the guys in the morning at weightlifting, get with the guys at practice, have the meetings in your office. I'm questioning my profession a little bit. You know, I am not as pleased with my profession. Again, that's not the kid's fault. That's the adult's fault. So when am I going to be done? I promise you this. I won't steal any money from Michigan State. The day I'm done, I'm done. I won't be doing anything but figuring that out. And the minute I don't feel I have the energy to take a red eye, the minute I don't feel like I have the energy to motivate a kid or get on them or hang with them, I'm walking away, you know, and I don't see that anytime in the near future. I still got things to do, you know. For the first time, I'm recruiting some players that are my former players' kids.
Unbelievable.
And damn, some of them are pretty good. So, you know what? I do like what I do. I do think we got to take a good look at college sports because I think some of it's heading in a direction that I don't think is best for the student athlete.
No doubt, no doubt. Well thought out answer. I expect nothing less. We appreciate it, Coach. Looking forward to the year.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.